Last time in our story, Reese comes face to face with Cat, and more trouble follows. What will our hero do with himself now? Reese's story, Chapter 5. Not all is as it seems. Another bang came from the still unidentified light in the woods. Reese and Cat both turned to look. There was a boy, or Reese thought it may have once been a boy, maybe 13 or so. He was red, all of him, and glowing. The boy floated several feet above the ground and moved closer to the two men. As he did, the trees bent slowly around him, as if trying their best not to touch him. Reese was breathless. What is that?" The other man chuckled under his breath and pulled a small glass bottle out from a pocket on his belt. "The big games, kid. This is the big games." Uncorking the bottle, Cat threw it at the boy thing. The glowing red melted away, and he dropped to the ground in a crumpled mess. Cat took a step closer, but was quickly blocked by Reese. "Stop! What are you doing?" The teacher's excitement deflated some, as he suddenly questioned why he was defending this kid. This kid who was clearly dead. Cat just smiled and pushed Reese out of the way with ease. Reese watched as the much larger man bent down and set a hand over the child's eyes. He spoke softly, and the boy vanished. Cat stood back up. "Sorry, we only just met. I'm Vince. Vince Cat. Some people just call me Cat." Reese was shaky, though he was unsure exactly why. "Some people like Miss Anderson?" Cat sat on a rock. "You've been listening to things you shouldn't be, newbie." Reese bit his bottom lip, and the other man laughed hard. "All right, I'm gonna help you out here, 'cause I know Dinah won't tell you a damn thing." Reese sat down, listening intently. "Being dead is hard. When you're stuck in the middle world, it's easy for things like demons and such to attach themselves to you. Or in this case, to the kids we help. And when that happens, the devil is not kind. He can rip into a soul till there is little left of that kid. I find ghosts, and I help them. One might say I help them be them. Most of the kids you know, I helped first, and found." Reese was so thankful for this man. He was open, and just fine talking about whatever. There was another thing he found funny about Cat. At first he couldn't place his finger on it, but the more he heard the man talk, Reese realized he felt he could trust him. Something he had not felt in a long time. Cat walked him back to the house just as it started to rain. He told Reese all about how he traveled the world looking for kids to bring back to Miss Anderson. He had been doing this for years now, and in his time he had faced demons, vampires, zombies, and witches, but no velociraptors. Not that Reese asked. It was sort of strange for the teacher. This world that he had wanted no part in was suddenly, cool. He felt like a kid talking to a superhero, and really, that's just what Cat was. He was some sort of paranormal superhero. Reese stepped into the house, making note that Lily Ann was still there. Cat was finishing up a story about a particularly nasty poltergeist he had once had a disagreement with. Reese laughed as Cat showed the scar it left with "just a rubber duck," so he said. He and Kat walked into the kitchen, but stopped at the sight of Stefan and Ruby making out. Well, Reese stopped. Kat took it as completely normal, pushing past them to get into the fridge. They broke apart as soon as he did. "Vince!" Ruby called and hugged the man. Reese was still stuck in a state of shock. Of course Ruby was with Stefan. Between the way she always watched him and became more, well, human around him. And sure, Stefan was really cute. Reese felt a slow, sinking feeling. Stefan may be cute, but Ruby was perfect. He spent the rest of the night in his room. Not that there was much night left. Reese turned to the not yet sleeping Sabrina, her green-yellow orbs focused on him, as if she already knew what he was thinking. But of course she did. She always did. It was stupid. I mean, we hardly even talked. She looked at him for a long time before closing her eyes. Reese sighed. "Yeah, forget it. I'll just spend my life with you." And as the sun reached up into the sky, our hero slowly fell asleep. Reese had dark dreams of children's eyes staring at him, crying for help, tears of blood that fell onto him. He would try to speak, but no sound came out. And then the kids started to scream and beg for help before Reese woke in a cold sweat. After scanning the room, he realized his arm was in pain. Looking down, he could see red marks in the shape of little children's hands. Reese panicked. I mean, who wouldn't? He made his way down the steps. Kat would know what to do. He really hoped Kat was still around. The teacher slammed head first into someone. He fell back and looked up. Thinking back, Reese wondered how he could stumble into so many pretty girls. This one was bleach blonde with deep green eyes. She reeked of patchouli and lavender, and had an old Zen hippie look about her. Serenity Smith. Her voice sounded like a smile. Who?" She laughed. "Me. I'm guessing at some point you were going to ask who I am, and I know who you are, so Serenity Smith." She took Reese's hurt arm. Having bad dreams? This woman was going too fast for him. Yes? How do you know my name?" She ran her fingers over the marks. "Sometimes I'm psychic. Also, Miss Anderson told me. You know, I bet a good breakfast would help this." She helped Reese up. So, wait, why are you here?" "Oh, I'm a medium. The kids around here trust me, and I communicate really well with them. So I'm like the school's therapist." They sat down at the table, letting Ruby serve them eggs on toast. "So you're the other teacher?" Serenity laughed with her mouth full. No, I just come by now and then." Reese noted the pain in his arm had faded. Kat took the seat next to him and grabbed some of the toast off his plate. Sabrina jumped up on the table, and instead of being reprimanded, Ruby scratched her ear. Somehow it was perfect. Things were creepy here, and sure, Reese was still the newbie. But if he could belong here, that wouldn't be so bad. However, Reese Wilson couldn't hear the screams for help, the yells of pain, or the scratching of blood-covered fingers on stone. He would pass it off as only a dream, for now. As always, I want to say thank you to my listeners. Thank you all so much. And as always, you can find me at any time of day or night at James Nightshade at Dead as Ever, Twitter. That was supposed to be Twitter. I can answer questions or just talk about the story, whatever you want. If I really like you, I might name a character after you. I mean, if you want me to. So just thank you so much for listening.